I decided the other day that I needed to understand the green movement, the environmental movement, better than I have, because you've heard the Senator say that I've been labouring under ignorance. So I found what is the equivalent of a peak body for the environmental movement worldwide, and I went to their site, and I can tell you it was very illuminating. Here's where they think the problems are in the world, in part. They tell us that we need to make sure that we don't offend and displace the hidden people, the elves in Ireland, or the hags. And I didn't even know it until I read their site that there are not just Italian fairies, there are Welsh fairies, and there are Irish fairies, and there are Transylvanian fairies. They got big red eyes, the Transylvanian fairies. And then there's fairies from the Isle of Man. We've got fairies, wall-to-wall fairies in the environmental movement in this country. Look, I'll laugh as I go through this, but this is serious stuff. This is what you have to do to get inside their head. This is what's in their head as they're going through the process to determine what should happen. You are a lone voice in this room, Senator, through you, Mr Acting Deputy Chair. Not even your colleagues have come down to support you in this presentation as you try and present this legislation. The chamber's as empty as I've ever seen it. As empty as I've ever seen it. But then there's the Brazilian shape-shifting dolphin men. The Brazilian shape-shifting dolphin men. And then you'll recognise this one, there's the gnomes. And they are, I'm told, not related to the Russian firebirds or the West African evil tree spirits. Goblins we're all familiar with. I've seen the hobgoblin myself, as I've left later than I should from some of my local pubs. We've got hobgoblins. Now, they're not related to goblins, apparently. They're a whole other species. We've got gremlins and harpies, otherwise known as the Greek wind spirits. And we've got nixies. This is off a credible site, according to them. This is what's in the minds. These fairies and hobgoblins and goblins and gremlins and tree nymphs and wood nymphs, skinwalkers, vampires, griffiths, Dodor, Solomon Islands, little people that have one eye, one leg and long red hair. Now, they'd automatically qualify to go as a member of the Greens. We've got Tibetan disease demons, pixies and trolls. But my all-time favourite, we can have some fun here, but my all-time favourite is how does it impact? So we have a situation, and you'd be aware of this, in Iceland, Senator. That's up close to where you've spent a bit of time being educated, up there in Iceland. And there's a road there that they've been trying to build since 1930, but they haven't been able to because it's referred to as the world of the hidden people. No photographs, a bit like, what's that one we've got run around up at Nambour there, a Getty or Hetty or something or other. So they talk about, this was serious discussions in public discourse that affected the development of sites. And of course, you know, I had my ear up to the glass one day. when the Greens were developing policy, right, on what they do with something in this place. And they got on the whiteboard they had this big word, no. And they hit the printer button and they print off 100 pieces of paper with the word no on it. And that's their policy on everything, right? No jobs. Don't support rural industries and remote communities like ours. Don't support industries like the cattle industry. If you were honest, and I do, can I be honest? I do find the good senator the most honest of the Greens. I think she's a true warrior and a true believer, but she has got too many elves running around her head as she starts to make recommendations. They are anti-sugar, they are anti-cropping, anti-developing, anti-progress, anti-breathing, anti-animal flatuation. Anti-animal flatuation. This would be laughable, this would be hilarious if it were not so serious. So now, what's happened in Iceland as a result? Companies planning large-scale projects try to preempt problems with the supernatural world. And they develop— no, I'm serious. You can go and check it out. one significant dam project in the east of Iceland, consultants with clairvoyant skills were engaged by the company to do a report for their planning application. Clairvoyant skills. Now, if this honestly, you just, I don't know whether to laugh or to break down and cry as I deal with what these people want. This lone voice, this lone voice that I debated on ABC Rural, who would tell all of Australians who were listening that the kangaroo population was under risk of being wiped out completely.